I mean, and he's got a big cast from Terry Funk, Colt Cabana, Bob Orton, Killer Bees, Brian Myers, formerly known as Kurt Hawkins, Shelly Martinez. He's got Scotty 2 Hotty and Brian Christopher, Rock and Roll Express, One Man Gang, Barbie Hayden, Amber O'Neal, The Godfather, Dink, Gilbert, Tatanka, Bull Dempsey. Oof. I mean, the names go on, and then you got the WrestlePro roster. So I mean,
you have EY there too, right?
And Eric Young, he's on the poster. It wasn't written down, but he is on the poster. But Eric Young will be there. So it's
Okay.
Oh, here was it? Did I just? Oh yeah, there he is. Heavenly Bodies, Eric Young. There he is. Missed it, but yeah, it's gonna be craziness, you know. And then you'll be over there in Staten Island at Warriors of Wrestling with your crew. I'll be sending over after this meet and greet Chelsea Diamond and the Killer Bees. They'll be running on over to Warriors of Wrestling.
But on top of that, Dave and his crew will be there for intermission. Godfather, Dink, and Gilbert, and Barry Hardy, I think it is.
Yeah, Barry Hardy.
Yeah,
the Hardy that couldn't wrestle. The Hardy that wasn't good.
Yeah, I guess the fourth distant cousin that got forgotten.
Yeah. So so it's gonna be interesting. And then I got Bob Orton going over to UWA Elite. So I'll be staying in Raw.
How far is that from Broadway?
About 15-20 minutes. It's in South River, so it's not that far. They'll be there he's gonna leave probably around 7:30, so he can get there for their intermission. And I'll be staying in Rahway with Amber, Eric Young, and Barbie, and then my whole crew will be meeting up back at Rahway after all the shows are ending, so we can get the whole crew back to the hotels, so they can rest up for the Allentown trip the next day.
I gotta tell you, I think Allentown is going to be really, really, really good.
Well, I hope so, because there's going to be a lot of people.
I know, but you know what? Half of the names that are there, like, I mean, I don't know, like, I honestly, and I'm just, I know we're live, and I'm just reason, like, if we're talking on the phone regular in a normal conversation, I don't know how the girls, I don't know how good the girls are going to do.
Well, they're there to, it's kind of like a experience thing, as far as like Amber and Barbie, Chelsea, and any other girls that'll be brought in. Like, and my girls themselves, they're going to make their money before they even have to worry about Allentown. And, whatever, this kind of, to me, it's kind of a little icing on the cake. Whatever we get, but, it's more for the Killer Bees and Bob Orton more than anybody.
And for me, it's more with Orndorff, or for me, who else do I have there? Rhino. So, who else do I have there? I have Rebel, I have Marty Bell, and Shelly Martinez.
Yeah.
So I have a mix of current talent, legends, and girls. So,
yeah.
And I'm also offering, since we're talking about Allentown, for my 5 talents that will be in Allentown, I'm offering during the day of a one-time thing for a super ticket.
Right.
If you wanted to meet all 5 individual guests that RDP Promotions has in Pro Wrestling World in Allentown, it'll cost you $100 for all 5. That's basically, if you break it down, 100 divided by 5, that's $20 combo.
Right.
$20 combos for everybody.
Good math, Richie.
Thank you.
We have a very similar one for big event. Of course, I probably went too far on my. We're doing all 8. You get a group shot with all 8, and an individual signature with from all 8 of them, and I think it was 120.
That's not bad.
Yep. So.
Do we need to do the math?
Nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I don't know, math. All right, you're gonna force me to do it. All right, 120 divided by. So it'll cost you $15 for a combo. There you go.
That's not bad at all.
Nice. But so all right, cool. So we, you got Warriors of Wrestling that night. You're gonna be there after big event, and I know they, of course, I'm not gonna be there, but I know they're gonna kick ass. But
I'll be there.
It'd be a good show. Like Joe said last week, front row is nearly sold out. He sold. I know quite a few more tickets this week, and I know I've had people messaging me about the show, or about where to get tickets. I know. As of last night, somebody I think bought tickets at Fun Station last night.
Mm-hmm.
They just for the show. Well, a lot of people now are going for, I believe, just for the meet and greet. So a majority of the people that are coming and the newer faces that will be at the show will also be coming to meet all the talent,
right,
as well. Because as you know from going to previous Warrior shows, he has a built-in crowd, and I would say, a good 60% of that crowd just sit down in their seats, while the rest are stragglers and are, they meet the talent as well. So it's been,
Well, I mean, we'll see we'll see what happens. We're gonna be showing up with our talent. Well, JT and Nick the Beard will be there for a little bit before intermission, as will Dave Mooch and MZ Promotions. So, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of meat left on the bone.
I hope so. I hope there's enough meat on the bone for everybody, because that's a lot. That Warriors hasn't had that much talent there in, I don't think, ever. This is probably Warriors' biggest show.
I believe it. Well, people gotta understand. Gotta look at the list of people and say, all right, who do I really want? Who's gonna be around? Who's never around? And I can tell you right now, anybody who wants autographs of the Killer Bees, you better take advantage of it now, because they are not around often, and there's been a lot of hype at all the shows that we're bringing them to, that people are very excited to see them, and so you better reach out now, because who knows when they'll be around again.
Same thing goes for one of my guests, for former TNA knockout Brooke.
Yep.
This could be her last hurrah for at least a year, if not more.
Yep. I would say more. I would say at least probably 2 years. You're thinking, 7 more months until she has the baby, and then another year, at least to spend with the baby before she's comfortable leaving the baby with someone to go on the road and do some shows.
I think less than 2 years. Probably, I would say no more than a year and a half. But you best better believe if I will be the first one to have her once after she has the baby.
Of course you are. You have to bring you're Richie TNA. You're like Mr. Knockout.
Well, not to mention the fact that she's just a moneymaker, no matter how many times she's been around. So, yeah. I was talking about that with somebody today.
Yeah.
And she was like with her being the last hurrah, that this could be a blessing in disguise for me, that she could be my biggest moneymaker the next weekend.
Well, I guess time will tell, as we always say, we ain't gonna know until we get there. But I have a funny feeling it's gonna be chaos over there, big event, in a good way.
It's going to be. It's gonna be really bad.
And but in a good way, bad but good.
Yeah, chaotic in a good way, because there'll be so many people. I'm kind of, I don't know how it's going to work, where they're going to I know they extended the convention another hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see, by them extending it another hour, does that draw another 400 or 500 people, I think, during the walk-up?
Well, if it doesn't do that, it also gives the people who are buying the big ticket, who are waiting online for an hour, to actually get their big ticket signature and be able to get back into the room and get signatures from everybody else before they leave.
I gotta tell you, the last show, we all my guests signed for 4 hours non-stop. That's how chaotic it was. And you know, I don't know, did you come visit me where I was?
No, it was way too hot in that room.
It was way too hot, and I was in the hot corner.
Yeah.
Where I was positioned perfectly. You had the two tables behind me. China was sitting at, and Taz was sitting right next to her, and then within that square, all my guests were right there. So I got all the people that were coming off of the China and Taz line. So it feeded beautifully.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. We'll be outside again, so we have to be passed to get into that room. So we'll make sure to tell them to save some money for you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Yeah, and I'm sure. Did you see my announcement this past Friday?
For Legends?
Yes.
I did.
I'll have at my table so far WWE Hall of Famer Mean Gene Okerlund and current TNA superstar formerly known as Elijah Burke in WWE. He's known as the Pope in TNA. He's Josh Matthews' color commentator.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been offering a early bird pre-sale special all weekend long to take advantage of these early savings, because after tonight the prices will go up. So if anybody out there wants to come down to Legends of the Ring on June the 11th and meet Mean Gene, Ian and the Pope, and take advantage of some early bird savings, you can go to my website at RichieDeGregPromotions.weebly.com and click on the icon that says Legends of the Ring.
All right, Rich. Thank you for picking up. We called you.
Always a pleasure to come on this great show, especially when you award me as the 2015 Promoter of the Year. Because when you want the greatest wrestling talent in the world, then you want the hottest wrestlers in the world, book them through me, and there's 3 letters you got to remember. The 2015 Dammy Award-winning Promoter of the Year, RDP. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Too bad it's 2016, Richie.
Take care.
Well, listen, 2016's not over.
See you later. But little does Richie know is that's because we're not allowed to award ourselves with that award.
Yeah.
If you want the greatest of all wrestling talent, you want what the fans want to see, what the universe wants to see. The only thing you have to remember is hashtag D365. That's all you have to remember.
That's right.
That's it. But Richie does bring in some good talent. I won't. I like to bust his chops, but because it's easy.
So easy.
My current drink, I don't remember. This has got to be my current drink. I had one that's been sitting there a while. But yeah. So I guess we got to wrap this show up. I told you it was going to wound up. This always happens. But we were trying to get a couple other people on the line, but they're busy. So busy on Sundays. Don't forget next week, folks. Absolute packed weekend of independent wrestling. And, of course, Big Event 10. Go to Big Event New York. That's bigeventny.com to see all the stars that will be at the convention in East Elmhurst, New York, the LaGuardia Plaza Hotel, Saturday morning from 10 to 3. There's going to be UWA Elite in South River, New Jersey that night at 6:30. 8 p.m. Warriors of Wrestling in Staten Island, New York.